And why do we make our life so complicated? This is crazy. Maybe you're addicted to chaos. What do you think? You can live without chaos. It is not necessary. You're just scared of change. You're addicted to having problems. There's such a gap between what's actually happening and the whole world that you're making out of it. And if you lose the narrative, you may lose yourself. But let me reassure you, it's a fake identity. It's not really who you are. And you actually know it. So you're scared of losing a false identity. So not being ignorant means waking up to the fact that you are doing your own suffering, and that if you stop doing your own suffering, then you will be free. Become conscious. Wake up. Realize what you're doing. So I was reflecting on my journey of a survivor of childhood trauma and spiritual awakening that I have been through for the last 5 years. Kundalini awakening, to be more precise. And I was thinking, why are we so hard on ourselves? And why do we make our lives so complicated? This is crazy. It's so much more simple. We're always here trying to complexify everything. It's not complex at all. Maybe you're addicted to chaos. What do you think? Do you think you're addicted to chaos? Because you could be if you're watching this. It's the case for a lot of my clients, and it was the case for me. Sometimes we're even scared of peace because we're so into chaos. Because it's comfortable, we know chaos. We're used to it. We think it's our home. We think that's the way things are supposed to be like. But there's also a life without chaos that is possible. I don't know if you're aware of it. And a life without chaos, you can live without chaos. It is not necessary. You're just scared of change. You're addicted to having problems. And it's so interesting to see in my clients how there's often such a gap, and also for myself, it was the same for me in the past. There's such a gap between what's actually happening and the whole world that you're making out of it. And very often what's happening is just completely fine. But you're making such a big deal out of everything. You create so many problems and doubts. And it's not your fault, you have trauma, of course. But don't satisfy yourself with this answer. Just see what you're doing and break free. The struggle is within, only within. There's no real struggle outside, or it's pretty rare. And even if it will happen most of the time, is because of within. But the problem is the narratives that you're telling yourself, and you live in these narratives, and you take them for granted, and you're convinced that they are real and that they are true. It's crazy. It's just sentences in your mind. It's just words in your mind, but they are so hypnotizing. Like, let's say, for example, I'm here sitting, there's no one around me, I'm alone, and I could start to think, I am abandoned. I am not abandoned. But I could start thinking this and believing this. And then I will start to feel sadness because, of course, it goes with it. And now I'm a sad person being abandoned sitting here. But in the first place, none of that was happening. I'm just creating this story in my mind. And of course, we're creating stories because of events we've been through, because of trauma. So it's not wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong or it's bad or you should absolutely listen to me. I'm saying that this is actually what's happening. You keep creating stories in your mind constantly on a daily basis. And then you live with them and you get hypnotized by them. And then you're wondering how to get out. But train your mind to not do that in the first place. Train your mind to not let the narratives arise. This is where meditation kicks in. And this is where practice is very important because you're training your mind to not create new stories, to not create problems out of reality. Does that make sense? To not create suffering out of what's happening in your life. Because you're creating a problem and then you feel bad for creating a problem, so you suffer, then you add a layer of new suffering, and then it keeps on going like this. Just stop. Just stop feeling things that make your life difficult. But this is scary because why? Because you have an identity that this is who you are. And if you lose the narrative, you may lose yourself, your identity. But let me reassure you, it's a fake identity. It's not really who you are. And you actually know it. So you're scared of losing a false identity? Is it necessary to be that scared? I don't know. I'm just suggesting. And I know how it's like, because for me it's the same. Like, you would tell me, Tim, let go of this identity, I most likely would be scared. But the truth is that it's not me who is scared, it's the ego, the idea of being a person who has the narratives. So just use this practice of meditation and just look at your mind and see how it's emerging, how you're creating stories, and then you create feelings, and then beliefs, and all of that is constantly ongoing. Is this the wheel of suffering, the wheel of samsara in Buddhism? You are fueling the wheel without being aware of it, and that's why we say that this is ignorance. In Buddhism, this is ignorance. You're not aware of how you're perpetuating suffering in your life. And ignorance is one of the main poisons of Buddhism, the main causes of suffering. So not being ignorant means waking up to the fact that you are doing your own suffering, and that if you stop doing your own suffering, then you will be free. So you have to first be aware that you're doing your suffering and then find a way out. It could be different ways. It could be limiting beliefs, it could be processing emotions, it depends regarding to trauma, I mean. But that's all you need to do, truly. And so that's why some people, for example, sometimes they're stuck for a very long time. And it's not that they're not lucky or they're not good enough at healing. It's just that they are not bringing enough awareness in their life. So they are not becoming conscious of this fact that they are creating their own suffering. They think that it's happening to them. And this is a very unconscious way to look at it. It's not happening to you. You're doing this internally. You're creating these problems for yourself as an attempt to keep you safe, to keep your identities and all of that. So that's when letting go is important, letting go of all these things that you're trying to keep for yourself. So sometimes when my clients are stuck like this, the only thing I can tell them is become conscious, wake up, realize what you're doing. You know, I need to call them out and tell them, like, realize Wake yourself up. Get out of this mind. Stop living there. It's not necessary. It just brings problems. So yeah, that's all for today. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you want to work with me, there's a link in the description. You can also join the community, and I'll see you soon. Thank you and take care.